tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. All right. Good morning to my trudgers. Happy Memorial Day. Not all my listeners do Memorial Day. It's a U.S. holiday where we recognize our military. We recognize our freedom. Yeah. Some people think it is to be a somber day. Some people think that we should do, celebration of life. But this is what I have found from most of the military people that I have talked to. They just want you to enjoy your freedom. No matter what sacrifice they made, they want you to enjoy your freedom. So I got to start it out with some respect, and thank you to all the military people that did what they did so I had the freedom to help other people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. It's Monday. It's a holiday. I'm surprised nobody's here yet. They're all at barbecues, everything else. We'll get some people here shortly. All right. Ooh. Yeah, I almost missed that chair. Almost missed the chair. Ooh. That could have been bad. Could have been a bad thing. Before we really get started, I'm going to read something from As Bill Sees It today. It follows the kind of what we're talking about here. But no, it follows today's daily reflections on turning negative into positive, which is one of the sacrifices that we make to earn our freedom. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to go to page 184. And did I just do this at the wrong time? People are even asking me to go live. So they must get their butts here. All right. Okay. I do. Let's see here. Awfully lonely in here. All right. I don't think there's an E in awfully. I misspelled it. All right. Meeting adversity. Our spiritual. Oh, I didn't do introductions. I better do that, huh? Welcome to Daily Trudge. Tion, if you're here, please say hello. There, we're done. Nice and easy. I didn't get rid of the. Please say hello. Please say hello if you would. Our spiritual and emotional growth in AA does not depend so deeply upon success as it does upon our failures and setbacks. If you will bear this in mind, I think that your slip will have the effect kicking you upstairs instead of down. We of AAs have had no better teacher than Old Man Adversity, except in those cases where we refuse to let him teach us. I was a chronic slipper for years. And yeah, right. But it always kicked me more and more upstairs instead of down. We've got to learn from our failures. This is something I say quite often. I've never learned anything from a success. Nope. What I learned was the road, all the failures along the way to get to that success, to help me get to the success. Without the failures, I would not have found success. Right? So when somebody has a slip, it's not over with. We're not done. That doesn't mean you failed. All it means is that you need to change your sobriety date. It's all it really means. Right? Now and then, all of us fall under heavy criticism. When we're angered and hurt, it's difficult not to retaliate in kind. It's tough not to retaliate, to not be able to get to say your side of the story, right? Good morning, Clara. It's good to see you. We're doing the daily reflections right now. I'll get to the actual topic, but I mean, pretty much everything that we do in AA is a sacrifice for our freedom. So I could have picked any topic and it would have applied. I picked it because it's Memorial Day. Good morning, Amber. Good to see you. I'm glad people showed up. I was getting a little lonely here. I wasn't too passive aggressive, was I? Besides, totally. Right. So it's difficult not to retaliate when somebody hurts us, yet we can restrain ourselves and then probe ourselves, asking whether our critics were really right. They may not have been wrong. Just because it was presented to me a way that I didn't appreciate doesn't mean that they're wrong. The things that I do not take into account are this: name calling. If it's name calling, I'm not even going to. No. Because I don't call myself names anymore. And I certainly don't allow other people to do it. But when somebody's saying I might be being kind of obstinate, Dion, maybe you're not being as open-minded as you usually are, things like that, then I start to listen. There's a guy in a meeting I go to, and he keeps relapsing. Well, he keeps slipping. Yeah, he keeps coming back, which is great. But each time he's like, well, I have to figure out, and I'm going to tell you why it irritates me, because that is what I did. And I just want him to be able to get the program. See, I'm not irritated with him. I'm irritated with me. Big difference. Because, but for the grace of God go I. The only thing that stands in between me and that man is the grace of God, the grace of my higher power. If we can admit our defects to them, they usually clear the air for mutual understanding. That's what I found. People usually want to find a mutual understanding. At least the people I talk with seem to be that way. Not always. Not always. Actually, let me think on that for a second. Because I also, try and work with some people that they're just unwell. They don't want to do it any other way. And I'm talking about professionals. See, they're enjoying their paychecks a little too much. All right. There's a lot of power mongering going on at Detox right now. And they just refuse to see it. They don't want to see it. Yeah. Suppose our critics are being unfair. Then we can try calm persuasion. If they continue to rant, it is possible for us in our hearts to forgive them. Maybe a sense of humor can be our saving grace. Thus, we can both forgive and forget. I really appreciate what he's saying, but it is impossible for me to forget. It just maybe I'm not as spiritual as I think I am. Either that, or maybe it works different for different people. Okay, me not forgetting is a survival thing. No, I'm not going to forget, because I notice these things, and if I see the pattern over and over again, that doesn't mean I'm going to dislike you or hate you or anything like that, but that I'm probably not going to hang out with you. I'm going to tell you something. The people that over compliment me hate me. They don't like me. I know that. It's called killing them with kindness. You think I don't know that trick? Right? The people that over compliment me all the time, I know they don't like me. They're just trying to get over their own resentment. They're trying to forgive me for something I may have done to them or said that they didn't really appreciate or something. It's not always your critics. I'm going to tell you now, I hear my name a lot when I go out. Heck, I heard my name in church yesterday. That was like the second time I've been there, and I was there for the end of it. Just, it's recognition, and it's okay, but it needs to stay there. It can't move forward. I can't, So I did an AI overview of some of the sacrifices we make in AA to obtain our freedom. If you were not here at the beginning, I'm going to repeat myself on something. I appreciate everything everybody has done so that I have the freedom that I have. Okay. I'm a white male living in America, and I have a shit ton of privilege. I have a lot of I've recognized my privilege for a very long time. And I'm going to use that privilege to help other people. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from to me. So thank you for my freedom. I'm not going to tell you now, I don't really want the privilege. I don't want it. It actually makes me feel a little uncomfortable. Okay. But I do appreciate my freedom, the sacrifices everybody made so that I could sit here and share my experience without, my door being punched down by the government being taken away because I'm going against what they want other people to hear. So thank you. All right. So the AA sacrifices often involve giving up behaviors, thoughts, and habits that hinder recovery and spiritual growth. Good afternoon, Patricia. It's good to see you. This includes relinquishing control, self-justification, and blaming others while embracing humility. Responsibility and a higher power sacrifices also encompass prioritizing the common good over the personal desires as outlined in the 12 traditions. And then it says elaboration. So we're going to elaborate on these different things now. All right. Giving up self-seeking behaviors, not selfish behaviors, but self-seeking. Right. The key is this. It isn't that we think of ourselves. It isn't that we think less of ourselves. It's that we think of ourselves less because we're considering other people, right? So this involves letting go of habits like self-pity, anger, and blaming others, and instead taking responsibility for one's actions. It's really all it is. Nice, simple. Hey, that was wrong. Maybe it's in the moment, that was wrong. I apologize. Just recognizing something is a big deal to other people sometimes. Right? Sometimes it's a big deal that, hey, they recognize that. Then what happens? Then they're like, I had something to do with that too, and now we can find that landing spot on which something we can both agree, even if we are disagreeing. Maybe I said something that, because what we're just reading about, when somebody does something to you, do you want to retaliate? Well, if somebody isn't aware of that, that's what you're going to get, right? Alcoholic, non-alcoholic, doesn't matter. People feel the need to defend themselves, especially when it is not true. when it is untrue. We want to defend ourselves. I know I do. Sacrificing control. Recognizing one's powerlessness and surrendering control to a higher power is a key step in recovery. So here's the thing. Sacrificing control. Thing is, I never had control. So I'm not really sacrificing control. I can't control other people. Well, that's not totally true either. That's not actually not totally true. How about a newcomer comes in? They are easily controlled. People with a lot of anger are easily controlled. People with big emotions like me are easily controlled. Right? Especially when we first get into the program, maybe we meet up with somebody who doesn't have the best of intentions and leads that person down a path. Right? So there's right types of control too. Leading somebody somewhere because they trust and respect you is a type of control. That doesn't mean I have control over them, but there's a lot of people that follow me and what I say isn't the word, but a lot of people trust in what I do. Yesterday I was in a meeting, and this is probably the biggest compliment I've gotten in a while. This guy doesn't over compliment. All right. He said, what I like about Dion is he takes the hard stuff. Always. He always takes the hard stuff. The people that, and I appreciate that. See, but we all have a place. Okay. If you're calling me, you're in trouble. if I'm being called, there's something going on, right? Unless it's my sponsee, then it just may be I'm in a situation I need a little bit of help, right? But if my phone rings, somebody wants something. And my phone doesn't ring and I pick it up and they say, I called to see how you were doing. That just doesn't happen with me. Because I do a lot of checkups here and stuff, right? So you guys usually know how I'm doing. But I do get a lot of, if I come here and I'm not doing the best, my phone will start to ding from my friends. Hey, are you okay? Do you need to talk? Okay. So it's not like it doesn't happen. It does. My friends, before that never happened. Even just a few years ago. Not really. People were reaching out, but it wasn't unconditional love. It was conditional. Well, I want to be able to help Dion because then I'm da 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 da. No. Because see, there's no greater sign or lesser sign in AA. There's nobody bigger or better in AA than anybody else. No. Am I a guru? Am I a big book thumper? Oh, here it is. Woohoo! Here we go. Welcome, Mercy Locke. We appreciate you. Actually, we very much do not appreciate you coming on here and peddling drugs when we're talking about recovery. Ow. Right? We were just talking about control, and here you are, doctor. So here's the problem, Mercy. You're about to be inundated because my listeners, we're going to troll your ass now. You are cured from diabetes. Yeah, I know a good cure for diabetes. And Mercy, if you want to say something else and defend yourself here, you go right ahead. This is an open forum. I'm going to tell you what's really good for diabetes. No more sugar. Right. So thanks, Mercy. Thanks for, you didn't even say hi. You didn't even say, hey, do you mind if I join? Do you mind if I post some helpful things? No, this is what we would call intrusive. In other words, we're not going to have much mercy for you now. Oh, look. All right. Relinquishing old ideas and habits. Man, I had some bad habits. Mercy, I guess Mercy didn't want to say anything else. They left. I had some bad habits. All right. Really bad habit. Like drinking. Drinking was my number one bad habit. Lying. Stealing. I didn't do too much stealing, but I did. Yes, I did. All right. I usually stole from stores and stuff. I remember one time I was at a dip. I think I was 13. I'm like, Mom, can you stop by the store real quick? I want to pick up, I have some money for a candy bar. I went in there, stole a can of dip and came back. I'm like, okay, thanks. This was before they put it behind the counter. Yeah, an old bad habit, Patricia, manipulation. That was one of my biggest ones, right? But what are these habits? Why? Because they allow us to drink. That's why I did all of it. Because it gave me an excuse to drink. See how busy we are with drinking? Most time we're just setting ourselves up so that we can justifiably drink that day. And they all lead to excuses. Yeah. So AA encourages members to shred old patterns of thinking. Okay. Patterns never lie, ever. I only know what people are going to do based upon patterns. I can sit down and talk with you, and I will know in a matter of minutes whether your father or mother was an alcoholic. I just have to ask a few questions. If it ain't them, it's going to move on to the grandparents. Alcoholism is passed through our DNA, like heart disease and cancer and these other things. Yeah. Well, it is a generational curse you cannot break. But is it a curse? Okay. I can break generational curses like manipulation and anger and things like that, but I cannot change somebody's DNA. The best I can do is be a great example so that they get sober earlier, so that they don't go through all the bullshit that I went through. And I know it works because if you've been following me, you know my personal life. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, I haven't talked to my wife about it, but I know that she's going to be okay with it. I'm going to start interviewing my family members. We're going to have one where it's going to be me and my daughter and my wife, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about hard shit, man. You okay with that, babe? I know you're right there. Sure. Miss Shy. Okay. All right. So shadow patterns of thinking and behavior that led to addiction embraced new, more constructive approaches. Yeah, we need things that are a little bit more constructive in our life, right? Like going to meetings. It's a good one. I see a lot of places out there cutting down. Well, why do you got to go to a meeting, sit in a circle, and be powerless and da da da? You don't need to do that. There's 3 easy steps. It's the big thing right now. It's real. Everybody's got a fucking master class. Heck, I've been thinking about doing it, right? Anyway, sacrificing anonymity. They have this wrong, though. All right. So, sacrificing our anonymity. We're not sacrificing our anonymity as much as we are sacrificing, and it gets to it, the need for credit. Okay. This is how anonymity works. I'm going to read what they put here at first. Anonymity, both at the public level and with the group, is a core principle that promotes humility and prevents self-promotion, allowing others to focus on the message of recovery. Okay. Now, according to this, I didn't sacrifice my anonymity here, did I? No, I did. According to this, no. Because my name's right there. I'm talking about AA. But I don't promote. I have not spent one dime to get this video to anywhere else. What I have done is created things, try and get it out there, but the best that I can do on that is ask you to reshare if you like what I do. Other than that, no. Okay. What are my intentions? Okay. Now we did that in the beginning because we were too few. That's what people don't understand. They're not catching that. You can recover out loud as much as you want. Now, what I'm going to do is smack the cat. now he went to his mom. He's all, Mo. Mo. I bet I can get him to come back to you. Mo, come here. Yeah, what? Mo. That means come here. Yes, I know kitty cat language. Come here. I just don't like it when you use your nails on my shoulder, dude. It hurts. It hurts when you do that. All right. So, why is it that I am not breaking anonymity, nor am I breaking tradition with it? Because I do not speak for AA as a whole. No. I only stay in my experience here. And even then, 60-70% of what I bring to you is actually clinical. I just mix it with the AA so that you understand what I'm saying. That's it. So, but we're sacrificing that, right? The promoter, look at me, look at who I am. I speak in front of people and I do this and I do that. No. Now, it's just part of my service work. That's all it is. Right? So, sacrificing opinions and judgments. I tell you now, I've not sacrificed my opinions. I bring my opinion up here all the time. Right? Yeah, right. Yes, I do. Okay. But they aren't these overwhelming opinion, and I will state it too. I'm like, this is purely opinion and what I think. It's an educational guess. Now, let's see what it says. AA encourages members to focus on their own progress and avoid interfering with the growth of others, even when they disagree with their choices. That I do all the time. In fact, I encourage people to share their experience if it is different than mine. I encourage you to do that because my experience is not the only way. I was just listening to somebody, they were talking about forgiveness. And for them, they said that they needed to forgive others before they could forgive themselves. For me, it's the total opposite. But it still works. The end result is still the same. So what does it matter? I don't even need to say, oh, well, mine's opposite. No, I don't even need to do that. People are allowed to think what they're going to think, and what works best for them may not be what works best for me. So what? So what? All right, one more, and this is the big one. We see it everywhere we go, not necessarily in AA, but anybody working in the recovery field seems to think that you need to stand above or rise above the rest or be this or be that in order to get recognized. Giving up the need for credit. What am I going to take fucking credit for? I stole it all. You think I'm here with original thoughts? There's some lines that I come up with, but that's just an accumulate. For me, that's just an AI overview in my own darn head, is what it is. Here's one I came up with a long time ago. Well, you better watch your karma or your dogma's going to bite you in the ass. I haven't said that one in a long time. Okay. Is that original? No. I'm sure somebody said it way before I did, probably thousands of years ago. No, it's not. And you got it, Claire. Just be you. But you got to find out who you are first. That can be really uncomfortable, right? Let's do, but while I'm thinking about, there are two other things that you sacrifice: your best friend, king alcohol, and your old self. Yeah, those are the things that we sacrifice. Then once we get in here, what do we sacrifice? Time, and a little bit of money, but mostly time, right? So AA emphasizes the good work of recovery comes from a higher power, not from the individual efforts. Without God's guidance, I wouldn't know to help you. I wouldn't have the information. I wouldn't know where to go, what to do. I often ask God for the right words whenever I speak, right? Encouraging members to give credit where it's due and avoiding seeking recognition for their achievements. No, I will do recognition for my own achievements, but that's between me and God. I don't have to go somewhere and do it. Quite often, people, earlier I just said somebody gave me a great compliment yesterday. Day before that, I was talking with somebody, and they said, and I don't want to bring up the name, but they're a very good friend of mine, right? Highly spiritual person. And what they said was, Dion, thank you for teaching me what you did about alcoholism so I'm able to help my own son. You're welcome. Okay. God did that, though. I had to be a part of it. I got to be a part of it. And that in and of itself is enough of a gift for me to continue doing it. Absolutely. All right. That's going to be enough for this one. I appreciate everybody being here. Whether it was by guilt, I put in, for anybody that's not in the WhatsApp, I put in there, gosh, it's getting awfully lonely in here. All right. Not passive aggressive at all. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And